Welcome. I am Sister Who. For more than 25 years now, I have served the cause of personal and spiritual growth using symbolism and metaphor. My full name is actually Sister Who Does She Think She Is? And that is a serious question around which much of the unconventional ministry I do revolves. Who is it that we think we are? How does that change throughout our lives? And what does that have to do with how we express ourselves to the world? In terms of how does one quickly describe Sister Who, one of the terms I often use is that I'm a 21st century nun. A nun is not defined by gender or religion because there are nuns in many different religions and within many different denominations. The point of anyone being a nun, however, is the dedication to spiritual service. And in this sense, Sister Who is very much a 21st century nun, using symbolism and metaphor to nurture others' personal and spiritual growth in whatever ways are individually appropriate. I don't have any doctrine or dogma to push on anyone. In all cases, I find that that which is truly God is beyond human comprehension. And so each of these becomes a way of reaching for a positive relationship with divine mystery. And even the atheist somehow needs to come to terms with the mysteries of life, with the things that are beyond. How do we constructively relate to that which we do not know, and which may be on the list of things that can never be conclusively proven nor disproven? Through the television shows and the various appearances and conversations that I've done, I seek to help people to wrestle with their questions, whatever questions the particular individual has, and to find empowering sorts of new perspectives, ways of noticing things that perhaps they overlooked, ways of considering something more to explore, and not to feel threatened by things we don't know, because there will always be so much that we don't know, and yet we need to have a positive relationship with that which is beyond us in order to continue growing, to continue expanding, to continue becoming more than what we thus far are. From a tribal perspective, I'm also an example of the archetype of the sacred clown. Sacred clowns were found in virtually every tribal society throughout human history, specifically someone who used symbolism and metaphor, unconventional actions, anything that would make people think. The connection between the sacred clown and the circus clown might be that when the sacred clown did something that was so uncomfortably close to the truth, people might respond with a nervous laughter about it. Over the time, I think that that's how the circus clown is now going for the laughs. For the sacred clown, the real goal is to get the growth. It's not that they have to laugh or they have to not laugh. It's a very serious attempt to make them think, to make them feel, to change them in a constructive way, to invite them into being more than who or what that particular individual is at that point in time. Perhaps a difficult transition, things where the whole world changes, or some natural disaster has thrown them into a situation where nothing is certain anymore and everything needs to be reconstructed. And how do we do that in a way that respects the interconnectedness of all life and the interdependence of all life? The world is, after all, shared space. There have been so many mistakes made, and yet there have been so many miraculous discoveries and beautiful expressions of creativity, new ways to dance, new ways to sing, new musical instruments, all sorts of wonders that we haven't fully explored yet, just how much of which humanity is capable. Through my conversations and shows and my interactions, even the hikes I do to mountain summits, on my own sort of personal pilgrimages, I try to focus more on the questions because there is so much life you can get out of a question. An answer is kind of a period on a sentence where everything is supposed to stop, except that upon further reflection, most answers provoke deeper questions. And it's those questions that take us beyond ourselves and that remind us that every point of individuality is surrounded by a context, a constellation even, of relationships. As Sister Who, I do not consider what I do to be female impersonation. Sister Who is a deeper level of personhood that precedes questions of gender and orientation. In a kind of Dr. Seuss way, perhaps. One must first, to be a holistic and complete human being, one must first come to terms with what it means to be a who, to be a unique perspective, a unique way of feeling and seeing and understanding life and of doing life, of actually living. And once one begins to get a sense of one's own unique perspective and thoughts and values and feelings, the next level then would be to consider how that unique consciousness is affected or modified or influenced by having a specific gender. And then the next level beyond that, of course, is orientation. That once one has begun to embrace a deeper understanding of what it means to be a man, a woman, or an intersex person, that thereafter to consider what it means to fall in love with whomever or whatever, to possibly even experience oneself as an asexual person. That there is something about that consciousness in this complex shared world in which we live that allows them to make a positive contribution and allows them to live with meaning and purpose. There is so much wondrous, empowering mystery all around us throughout life. We will get so much more out of the many or few years that we have on this earth. There's a part of life that we receive, there's a part of life that we create, and there's a part of our lives that we leave to those who will come after us. I try to encourage everyone to make all three of those as good as possible. Thank you. I hope this introduction has been helpful to you.